Hey everyone, this is Scott Roberts from Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance. If you were watching earlier today, you saw me on with Dr. Daniel Barth of the How Do You Know program. And what we've been doing recently is a series of pulling product out of the box, pulling telescopes out of the box, building them, showing how they work, trying to give you some expert tips. This is especially useful, I think, if you're a beginner or you're trying to select your next telescope. But coming up next will be Kent Martz and Daniel Barth for Daniel's 68th How Do You Know program. They're going to be going through telescopes of, how do you choose one for as a holiday gift? Now, Daniel loves doing these things because there was a once upon a time that Daniel worked at a retail store called Scope City, and he has sold thousands and thousands of telescopes himself. But he just likes doing this once a year to kind of get people started. He has, his book Star Mentor, which he'll be talking about at one point during the show, but it's a great book on how to take you next steps beyond finding the moon, beyond just finding the planets, So anyhow, I think that you guys might enjoy that. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. will be the 108th Global Star Party with the theme of stellar winds. And so it is, stars blow off winds and mix all those elements that they churn out all over the universe to recoalesce and to make new star systems. So you're going to want to watch that. We have a great lineup of speakers for that. And what else? I think that's about it. I found a great video from NASA about globular star clusters. I really want to thank NASA and the European Space Agency for producing all these videos that we can freely share with you because they're so educational. They're taking the latest information that they know about things up in space and handing it directly back. So really, my hat's off to them. But I hope you've been having a great Monday. Keep looking up and watch for Daniel Barth with Kent Martz here in about 28 minutes. So.
Globular cluster is a big sphere of stars that have collected together. They're orbiting around a common center, but it's very spherical, very organized, looks like a huge basketball, contains hundreds of thousands of stars. These clusters have formed early on in the formation of a galaxy. When the cluster starts forming, it's very diffuse, and over time, things get concentrated more and more to the center. Stars are actually moving all around in it. They're sort of orbiting around the center. It's not a static cluster, even though a single picture makes everything look like it's in place. I think one of the more famous ones is Messier 13. Omega Centauri is a prototypical one in the southern hemisphere. Globular clusters are very old. They seem to be some of the first stars formed in the galaxy as the material that came together in the past, one of the pockets of condensed material that occurred around the center of the galaxy drew together into these selections of stars. So they're mostly very old stars, 10 or 12 billion years old, although we do see a second generation of newer, younger stars in globular clusters. Still, relatively old, billions of years ago, but it's not like you had one burst of star formation and that was it. You did have a chance to form a second wave later on. Westerlund 1 is what's called an open cluster. It's a very loose collection of stars over a broad area. It's more sort of a cloud of stars. As more stars gather in an open cluster like that and more material comes together, it's going to naturally pull things in toward its center. Something like Westerlund 1 over many millions of years could evolve into something that looks more like a globular. And we do think that most globulars have one or more black holes at the center, which is a source of immense gravity to help pull these clusters together. Hubble saw in the globular cluster NGC 6397 the first clear evidence for multiple black holes at the center. We had previously assumed that most globulars would have a single black hole at the center. In this case, we found a number of separate black holes. They're moving around each other at high speeds around a common center. If you have a number of black holes in tight orbits around each other at the center, that works as well as a single black hole for holding together the overall cluster.